In this video, we will see how we can create this modular bottom sheet, okay? If I tap on this learn more button, as you can see, a button sheet will appear, okay? And initially, this button sheet will only take about 25% of our screen height, okay? But if, for example, I want to see more info about this, I can expand this, okay? And as you can see, it will take more space, okay? And if I also want to read the full description, I can also expand this to take the full screen of our app, okay? So in this video, we will see step by step how we can accomplish this result. In order to save some time, yeah, I have an initial setup, okay? But it's nothing crazy. So yeah, inside this body, I have this V stack, okay? And inside this V stack, we have this burger image, okay? And what you guys can do, you can simply download an image of a burger, okay? And you put that image inside your asset folders, okay? So here, we are adding some style to this burger, okay? And then we add this overlay, okay? This overlay property will have this title and bottom, okay? So here what we have, first of all, we have this on Z stack, okay? And the reason why we have this Z stack is because if you guys notice, here we have a little shadow, okay, or background color, okay? So this is the background color we apply. So here at the beginning, what we are saying, we add this on linear gradient, okay? So at the beginning we don't want anything, okay? But as we go to the bottom, okay, we want this color black, okay? That's why as you can see here, the bottom of our image is a little bit darker, okay? So this is what this linear gradient does. And next we have this H stack, okay? And inside this H stack, what we have this text, okay? So this on gladiator burger, and we also have this on other text inside this V stack, and then we have a button, okay? So nothing really crazy. And right now when we tap on this button, nothing happened, okay? So here the first thing we can do is to simply show this button sheet, okay, every time we tap on this learn more, okay? In order to do so, the first thing we want to do, we want to close this overlay, okay? And yeah, what we want to add this sheet, and inside this sheet we want to call this is presented, okay? And here we need to provide a boolean variable. So what we can do, we can come up here and create a state variable, and we will call it show button sheet, and let's initialize this to false. And now that we have this, what we can do, we can simply copy this. And yeah, for this is presented, we want to provide this boolean variable, okay? So perfect. And for now, inside this sheet, what we can do, we can simply provide a text, and let's say bottom sheet. And now what we want to do, every time we tap on this, we want to show this bottom sheet, okay? So what we can do, we can go to a button, okay? And here inside this button, as you can see, we are not doing anything. So what we want to do, we want to call this show bottom sheet, okay? And we want to toggle it, okay? And now normally if we tap on this, we are supposed to see a bottom sheet, okay? Okay, perfect. And everything is working perfectly, okay? So if we go back to our sheet, now what we want to do, inside this sheet, we want to provide this view, okay? We want to specify that, okay, sometimes we want this small view, okay? And sometimes we want this medium view, and sometimes we want this full view, okay? How can we do this? Well, in order to achieve this, the first thing we want to do, we want to create a separate view, okay? Because we don't want our code to get messy, okay? So what we can do down here, we can create a new view, we will call it details view. And here inside this view, for now, we can simply cut this and put it here. And here, we want to specify that we want to provide this detail view as a bottom sheet, okay? And normally everything should still be okay, okay? And as you guys can see, everything is still working, okay? Now the next thing we want to do, we want to specify that when we tap on this learn more, okay, what we want this bottom sheet to only take about 25% of our screen height, okay? So yeah, on this detail view, what we can do, we can add something called a presentation distance. And here we need to provide a value, okay? So here as a value, what we can say that, okay, for a value, we want you to be a fraction, okay? So we can call this fraction. And the fraction we want is this 0.25, okay? So this one we specify that, okay, we want this view to only take 25% of our screen height, okay? So with this, if we tap again on this, learn more, as you can see, it will only take 25% of our screen height, okay? And as you can see, everything is working perfectly, okay? But now, what we want to also specify is, yeah, if we want to expand this, we want our user to be able to expand this, okay? Because right now, as you can see, we are not able to expand this, okay? But for finish up, when we want to expand, we are able to expand this bottom sheet, okay? So yeah, inside this array, we want to specify that, okay, the initial value should be on 25% of our screen height, but it can also expand to medium, okay, to take approximately half of the screen, okay? And now, if we tap again on this, as you can see, we're able to expand this, okay? And here we also want to specify that it can also take the full screen of our app, okay? So if you specify this large, now the initial value will be 25%, but we can also expand this to about half of the screen, and it can also take the full screen, okay? And we are getting close to our finished app, okay? Now the next thing we want to do, we want to provide a specific view, okay, for each size, okay? So when this bottom sheet only takes 25% of our screen, okay, we want this view, okay? And when this is medium, we want another view. And when this is a full screen, we also want a different view, okay? How can we accomplish this result? Well, in order to accomplish this, what we need to do, we need a way, okay, for this view to know exactly what is the size of this bottom sheet, okay? So yeah, on this detail view, what we can do, we can create a bounding variable. So it's gonna to be binding, and let's call it my d10. And here it's gonna to be of type presentation d10. And you might ask me, why did I take this presentation d10? Okay, let me explain it to you. If we come on this presentation details, okay, and we click on it, it will direct us to this page, okay? And here, as you can see, this is coming from SwiftUI, okay? And here, for this presentation details, what we can provide this set of presentation details, okay, which is this, okay? So this is basically how the height of our bottom sheet, okay? But we can also provide this selection, okay? And as you can see, this selection is a bounding, okay, of presentation G10, okay? So that's the reason why here, for this detail view, we need the bounding of this presentation G10, okay? And now, what we want to do, every time we change this, okay, every time we update this presentation G10, it will provide us this selection, okay? So it will let us know what has been selected here, okay? So when we only take 25% of our screen height, okay, it will give it back, okay, in this selection, okay? And now when we have this selection, we can now pass it to our detail view. Okay, let's keep going with our code, and we can come back again to explain this code again. Okay, so yeah, what we want to do, we want to create a state variable, okay, for this selected G10. Okay, so here what we can do, we can duplicate this, but here for the name we will call it selected G10, and here it's going to be of type presentation G10, and we want to initialize this to 25% of our screen height. Okay, and now that we have this, what we want to do, we want to pass it to our view. So here for this my G10, we want to pass this selected G10. Okay, and now every time we change this, we want to store the selection to this selected G10. Okay, perfect. Let me explain this again. So what we are doing here is, for this presentation G10s, we first of all provide all the possible heights we can have. Okay, so here what we said is our bottom sheet can either take only 25% of our screen height, okay, but it can also take a half of the screen height, and it can also take the full screen height. Okay, so we are providing this here. Okay, now this selection, okay, every time we for example, when we open this, the selection will be this fraction. Okay, so this selection, okay, will be returned by this presentation G10s, okay, by this selection. Okay, I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. Okay, so what I mean is, for example, when we drag this, okay, to this medium, okay, SwiftUI will give us back the height, okay, because we need a way to know what is the height of this bottom sheet. Okay, so when a user will set it to like this large, it will send SwiftUI will send it back to us. Okay, and when our SwiftUI send it back to us, what we are doing, we are storing it inside this guy. Okay, this selected G10. So right now the value for this selected G10 will be large. Okay, and now if we put it here, the value of this will be medium. Okay, and if we put it down here, the value of this guy will be this fraction. Okay, so this is what we are doing on this selection. We are simply storing what SwiftUI is giving us back. Okay, and now because we have this selected G10, we are able to pass it to our detail view. Okay, so now inside our detail view, we know, or we have a way to know if our bottom sheet is only taking a fraction, okay, a 25% of our screen height, or if it's medium, or if it's large. Okay, and now based on this information, okay, we can play with our view. So what we can do, we can simply say that, okay, if this my G10 is equal to medium, what we want to do, let's just show a text. So we can copy this and paste it here. And here what we want to do, we simply want to say medium bottom sheet. And we can do the same thing for large. So we can copy this and paste it here. Okay, and now we can say, okay, if this is large, what we want to do, we want to show a different text. We want to show this large bottom sheet. Okay, so normally when this change, okay, we are supposed to get this inside our view, and based on this, we are supposed to show the appropriate text. Okay, and we want this text to be shown for all of different options. Okay, let's test this. So if we tap on this, as you can see, we only have this bottom sheet, but if we push it to medium, as you can see, we have this medium bottom sheet. Okay, and if we put it to large, as you can see, now we have a different text. We have this large bottom sheet. Okay, and everything is working perfectly. Okay, And now to finish this, what we can simply do, we can improve the style of our text, okay? For example, for this, what we want, instead of this bottom sheet, okay, we want this text, okay? And now we can simply style our text. So what I'm going to do, I'll simply copy and paste what I have in my finish app. So here we add a font, okay? We also have a font weight, okay? And here for the padding, we are simply playing with the padding, okay? Because here we want a padding top, okay? So here what we are saying is when this is for this padding top, okay? When this margin is medium, okay, or when it's large, what we want a padding top of 50, okay? And when this normal, or when it's only taking 25% of our screen height, we don't want any padding top, okay? And next we want this dining on text and take out. So what I will do, I simply copy this from my finish app and paste it here. And the next thing we want a divider. Okay, perfect. Let's see the result. Okay, it's looking good. So now the next thing we want to do, we want to add this image, okay? So again, what I will do, I'll do the same thing. I'll copy from my finish app, but I want you guys to notice something, okay? This image, okay, will be there on this medium and large, okay? So what we want to do, yeah, we want to specify that, okay, if this margin is medium, or if it is large, what we want to do, instead of this text, what we want this image, okay? So now if we come here, if this is medium, we have our image, okay? And if this is large, we also want our image, okay? And everything is looking good. So the last thing we want to do, we simply want to add this text, okay? And here for our text, what we can do, we can remove this else, and here we can paste our text from our finish app. And here what we want to play with this line limit, okay? Because here when this is taking 25% of our screen, okay, as you can see, we have a different line limit, okay? Here for example, we have a line limit of 2, okay? And when this is medium, we only have a line limit of 1, okay? So what I did here, for this line limit, okay, if this is large, okay, so if my d10 is large, meaning if you are here, we want a line limit of 10, okay? But if this, okay, if this is medium, meaning here, so if this is medium, we want a line limit of 1. So here is my mistake. So here we want a line limit of 1. And if this is not medium, we want a line limit of 3, okay? So normally everything will still be okay, okay? For this 25%, we have a line limit of 3, okay? Medium, line limit of 1. And when it's large, we have a line limit of 10, okay? And everything is working perfectly. But as you can see, our UI does not look quite the same as our finished app. So let's polish this. The first thing we want to do, we want to add a spacer here, down here. And we also want to add a padding here. And oops, my bad, I think I forgot to add everything inside the V stack, okay? So what we can do, here inside this body, what we want to add a V stack, okay? And here we want an alignment of that leading, and we also want to add a spacing of 10, okay? And now inside this V stack, what we want to do, we want to cut everything we have here and put it inside of V stack, okay? And now on this V stack, what we can do, we can add our padding, and we want a padding of 20. So let's see, if I tap on this, as you can see, everything is looking good, okay? You have our bottom sheet, which only takes 25% of the screen height. If we push it here, okay, you have a medium bottom sheet, okay? And if we set it to large, we can see everything. Okay, with that said, I think that's the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If that's the case, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.